Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabe. I welcome you to Buttercup and Deadnettle Flower structures. Here we have our two types of flowers. This one is a Deadnettle flower, and here we have the Buttercup flower. We are going to discuss the two of them, and you will see the different parts they have. We can first look through here very fast, then we can go and then try to look at other things. Now here you can see we have a flower stalk here, which is also here, and when you come here you will see we have the ovary. The whole of this one is the ovary and the ovules. Then we have here the anthers and the filaments. We have the style. We have the stigma. We have the keel petal. We have the wing petal, this one here. And then we have the standard petal, this one outside. All those ones are petals. Then down here we have the smaller ones, which we call the sepal. That one is a Deadnettle. It is a leguminous plant. Then here we have the buttercup. The buttercup has got the flower stalk. It has the sepals. It has the nectary. Move here, it has the receptacle. Then on the receptacle we have the carpel. Inside the carpel, those ones have been cut. We can see the ovule, and then the whole of this one is the ovary. Then on the top of the ovary, it's where we have the style and the stigma. The style and the stigma, that is the female reproductive part of the buttercup. Then this side we have the filaments and the anthers. All these ones that you are seeing moving around, those are filaments, anther and the filament, or what we call the stamen. They are the male parts of the flower. And then outside here we have the petals. Those are the petals, and that is the Deadnettle, or sorry, the buttercup flower. A flower is a reproductive structure of the plant. The flower is a reproductive structure of the plant, like the way we have seen. Here we have our flower. The whole of this one is our flower, which has been sectioned through. It has been cut longitudinally through so that we can see what is inside. And we can see that we have a stalk. This is a flower stalk. Then we have these ones here. These are sepals. Then we have this structure here, this small structure that you are seeing here, that is a nectary. It produces nectar. We have the ovary here. This one is a receptacle. We have these ones all. This is a filament, and this one is the anther head, which form the stamen. We have these ones are petals. Then we have this part here, this one here. There we have the stigma and the style. So inside here we have the ovule, and the whole of this one here is the ovary. So that is the structure of the flower, and it is a reproductive structure of the plant. Why do we call it a reproductive structure of the plant? Because it has got the female reproductive organ, which includes the ovary, the ovules, the style and the stigma. And then it has also got the male reproductive organs, which are the filament and the anther. The buttercup shows the main features of a flower. It shows the main features of the flower, like the one we have seen, the different features that we have so far mentioned. Those are features which are also found in other flowers. So it is showing all the main features that we find in other flowers. The conspicuous part of many flowers consists of the petals, which are white or brightly colored. For most of the flower, the conspicuous part that we see are the petals, and they are bright, and sometimes they are white in color or brightly colored. They are the parts on the flower that are easily seen. The petals serve to attract insects, which help pollinate the flower. So our petals, their main function is to attract insects, like for example the bees, the butterflies, which will come and then pollinate the flower. So they have a bigger surface area where the insects can land, and in addition to that, they have bright colors which can be seen from a very far point, and then also they are big enough that they can be seen by the insect from a longer distance. And their main function is to attract the insects, and these insects are the ones that are going to pollinate the flower. The sepals are usually small and green. These ones enclose the flower when it is in the bud state. So we have our sepals here. These sepals, their main function is to enclose the flower, the whole of this one. Though you are seeing it outside, it has grown, but all of it, when it was still young, it was covered by this sepal inside. And that one is what we call the bud. But as it comes out, the sepals will open, and when they open, they allow the flower to emerge out and it starts growing. The male part of the flower consists of the stamen. It consists of the stamen. Now, our stamen is the male part of the flower, and this one includes the anther head and the filament. All these ones that we are seeing moving out, those are the stamen. The ones which are out, they are the stamen. And the stamen have got a filament which connects to the receptacle. It connects to the receptacle, that long tube. We call it a filament. And then on top of the filament, there is a bigger section, expanded section. That one is called the anther. So those are the male parts of the flower. They are called the stamen and consists of the anther and the filament. The stalk of the stamen is the filament, and at the end of the filament is the anther, which contains pollen grain. So what we would call as the stalk of the stamen is what we call the filament. We are calling it a stalk because it is the one which is attached on the receptacle. It comes and attaches itself on the receptacle, and it moves away from the receptacle, and then it forms the anther at the end. When you look at the end, it has got the anthers. So in the anthers, it's where we find the pollen grain. So that is the stamen, made up of the anther and the filament. The pollen grains contain the male reproductive cells, or what we call the gametes. In the pollen grains, which are found in the anthers, pollen grains are found in the anthers. They are the male reproductive cells, or what we call the gametes. They are situated in the anther, which is on top of the filament. And all of them, the filament and the anthers, they form what we call the stamen, the male part of the flower. The female part of the flower consists of the carpels. The female part of the flower consists of the carpels. This whole structure is what we are calling the carpel, and it is attached on the receptacle. There are very many carpels here when you look, and all these ones are the female part of the flower. Those are the carpels. Each carpel consists of an ovary, which contains an ovule, which is the female gamete. So we have the carpels, many of them, but each one of them here in the buttercup has got one ovule. The ovule, we can see the ovule when we cut through the carpel. When we cut through half of the carpel, inside we are going to see the ovule. And then outside we have our ovary. Now this outer part is what we are calling the ovary, and that we are seeing inside is what we are calling the ovule. And this ovule is the one that we call the female gamete. Extending from the ovary is a style, which ends in a stigma, which receives the pollen from the anther, another flower. So we are having our ovary here, this outer part, which is the ovary. Now that ovary is going to extend. Now this extending part is what we call the style. That one extending away from the ovary is what we are referring to as the style. And at the tip of the style, that is where we have our stigma. So the ovary, all of it extends up to the stigma. through the style. And it is the stigma, the tip of the style, that receives the pollen grains that are coming from another flower. The ovules, when fertilized, they will become the seeds, while the whole ovary will be the fruit. So what we are seeing inside as the ovule, after fertilization, it is going to turn into what we call the seeds. And this outer part, which we are calling the ovary now will turn into what we call the fruit. Of course, we know that the fruits inside them, there are seeds. A fruit is a composition of the ovary and the ovules developed into seeds and fruit. The receptacle is the expanded end of the flower stalk. The receptacle is the expanded end of the flower stalk. So when you look at our flower, we have that part that holds the flower onto the branch. That part is what we call the flower stalk. And when it goes up, it expands and forms a receptacle. The receptacle is where we are having our carpels attached and the stamens attached. So it is an expanded end of the flower stalk. All parts of the flower are attached to the receptacle. All parts of the flower are attached to the receptacle. So when we start with the sepals, you will see that the sepals are attached at the end of the receptacle. Then you come to the petal. The petal also comes and attaches itself on the receptacle. Then we have the male gamete, the male part of the flower, the stamen. It is also attached to the receptacle. Then we have the female part of the flower, which are the carpels. They are also attached to the receptacle. So that's why we are saying that all the parts of the flower, they are attached to the receptacle. Nectaries, they are swellings at the base of the ovary or on the receptacle. These ones, they produce a sugary solution called nectar. Those are the nectaries. So here at the base of the ovary or the petals or near the receptacle, there are those swellings which we call the nectaries. And these nectaries are the ones that produce a sugary structure or a sugary solution called nectar, which attracts the insect to come inside and suck the nectar. And in that process, pollen in the anther will dust itself on the insect as it is trying to pass. So when it moves to another flower, then that pollen will go to the stigma of the carpel and then fertilization will take place. Insects visit the flower and drink or collect this nectar. So we have said that when the insect comes, it will flow down and it goes to the nectary, and then it will drink and also collect the nectar, and then it will go away. In many flowers, petals or sepals are joined for part or all of the way along their length, forming tubular structures as in foxglove and Deadnettle families. So when you look here, we have our flower. And this one we are seeing outside, this is a petal. And when you look at this petal, you are going to see that at the lower part, the whole petal is joined together. But when it comes up, it separates. This one up here is another part of the petal. So the petal up forms open structures, or it separates, but when it comes down, it joins together and it forms a petal tube. And this one is found in the Deadnettle family and also in the foxglove families. In flowers like the buttercup, all the petals are the same size and are not joined. So when you look at our buttercup here, you will see that we have the petal, and this petal is separate from this other petal. So they are separated petals and they are of the same size. If you look at their size, they are of the same size. But these petals are separated. They are not joined together. Each one is an independent petal, but they are of the same size. In others, which have joined or free petals, some petals differ in size and shape from others, as in the pea family and the Deadnettle. So we have here our pea family flower here. And what we are saying is that the petals are sometimes joined, others are free, but they are different from each other. Like for example, when you look at this pea family, they have this petal here outside. When you look at it, that's how it looks like. And that one is called the standard petal. Then they have another petal which you are seeing here. This one passing here like this, and then it goes outside like that. That one is also another petal, and that one we call it the wing petal. And we have a third petal which is passing inside here. We can see all of it. This petal here, which is boat shaped, It is like a boat shaped. That petal, we call it the keel petal. So when you look at these petals, you will see that all the petals are different from each other, and they are free. They are different from each other in their size and shape. Buttercup, there are five sepals. It has got 5 petals, and all these ones are not joined up. It has got the nectaries at their bases, but curled back, and it has got about 60 stamens. It has around 30 or 40 carpels separated from each other with a short style, each containing a single ovary. So when we look at our buttercup here, what we are saying, it has 5 petals. This flower has been cut through so that we can see through, or we can see the things inside. But if you look, this is a petal, 1, 2, and this is half, which has been cut through, and the other 2 which have been cut on the other side. Now it has 5 petals, and these petals are not joined together. And it has also got 5 sepals. These 5 sepals, they are also not joined together. And at the base of the petals, we have the nectar, or what we are calling the nectaries. It has got nectaries which produce nectar at the base. Now these petals are curled back. They move backwards. The reason why they are moving backwards is to provide a landing site for the insect so that the insect can pass through and go and pick the nectar. They have got about 60 stamen. Stamen, we say they are mellow parts of the flower. About 60 of them, or more than 60. Then it has got over 30 to 40 carpels. These are the carpels, all those ones attached to the receptacles. It has like 30 to 40 carpels, and each carpel is separated from each other. Now when you look at each carpel has got a short style, an extension. That extension that you see is what we are calling a style, and it is a short style. That extension, small extension, is a style, and each carpel has got one ovule. If you look at these 2 which have been cut, you can see inside there is only one ovule in each carpel. So we have seen there are 5 sepals. This is what we are referring to as a sepal. This one is a sepal. This one is also a sepal, but these sepals have been cut through. Then the other side behind, also behind we have the sepals. Then the other sepals have been cut off. They have gone with the other half of the flower. So those are the sepals that we have been talking about. Then we have the petals. This one is a petal here. And here we have another petal. You can see those petals are separate. They are independent, but they are of the same size, and they are not joined together. Then we have the nectary. Nectary is this part that you are seeing here at the base of the flower, the petal. So all the petals have nectary at the base. When there is a petal, you expect there to be a nectary. On every petal there is a nectary. Then the stamen, we have said they are these ones that we are seeing. It is made up of the anther, and then down it forms what we call the filament, which comes and joins to the receptacle. All these ones that we are seeing, they are the stamen, female part of the flower. They are made up of the anthers and the filaments. The carpels, these are the carpels. These are the female parts of the flower. There are very many of them and they are separated from each other. Each one is attached to the receptacle, and these carpels are separate. But when you cut through them, now let us go to the stitch hood. Greater stitch hood has 5 sepals, and these ones are not joined. They are not joined. If you look here, we have a sepal here. This is a sepal. And then this side we have another sepal. This small part that we are seeing here is a sepal. It has got 5 of them, but they are not joined together. Petals, they are white with a deep cleft in each. They are white in color. These are the petals, and each one has got what we are calling a cleft, this depression here. So they are petals, but they have got a cleft. If you look at the petal here, it has a cleft here, and it is the same petal here. The outer ring of 5 long stamen and an inner ring of 5 short stamen. So when it comes to the male parts of the flower, they have rings. They are those ones that are outside, which are long, 5 of them, and then they also have the inner ring, which has got the short one, and those short ones, they are also 5 of them. 5 inner ring with the short stamen, though here we are seeing 1, 2, and 3, meaning that the other have been cut off. Like for example, if you look at this flower, it is a half flower. Half flower, that's why we are able to see what is inside. The other part has been cut off. So the other stamen are in the other part of the flower that has been removed, the petals and sepals. So here we can see, but we can see we have those ones that are long. Those long ones, they are the outer stamen. And then these short ones, they are the ones that are inside, or what we call the inner stamen. Greater stitch, we have said it has 5 sepals. The sepals, we have already seen them. It has petals with a deep cleft, That one we have already seen, the cleft here, this part here. We have also seen that it has got the outer rings of 5 long stamen and 5 short stamen. We have seen these ones out. These are the long stamen. Those ones are the ones that are outside. And then we have seen these short ones. These short ones are the inner ones, and they are inside and they are short. The carpels, the female part, consists of 3 carpels, and these ones are joined together to make a single ovary with many ovules bearing 3 styles. So when you look at the carpel is the female part of the flower. The whole of this one is a carpel. This one is a carpel. It has got the style and a stigma. This one is a style 1, and then we have another one 2, the stigma. But we are saying it has 3 carpels. And how do we see that it has 3 carpels? Outside we shall have 3 styles. 3 styles. But here we are having only 2 styles. Is this one and this one. Then where is the third one? The third one is on the other part of the flower that has been removed. So it has got 3 carpels, and those 3 carpels are fused together. They are fused together, and these ones, they fuse together to form a single ovary. So these are 3 carpels fused together, and they have formed a single ovary, which is 1 ovary. And inside they have many ovules. These ones inside that we are seeing, they are ovules, many of them. Inside the ovary there are very many ovules, each one attached to the receptacle. When we come to the white Deadnettle Lamina album, the Deadnettle has 5 spike sepals. It has 5 spike sepals, and those sepals are these ones that we are looking. They are spiky, they are sharp at the end. 5 of them. There is another sepal outside here. There is another sepal going this side. It has got 5 sepals with spiky shape, and at the base of the cup, surrounding the tube of 5 joined petals, in which the uppermost is particularly well developed. So they are petals. These are our petals. There is this petal here, which forms here, and then there is the upper petal, which is well developed, this petal here. Of course, the other petals have been cut off. So the sepals are surrounding the petals, and the petals are 5 of them. And you can see that these petals are joined together. At the bottom, they are joined together to form a petal tube, but when they go up, they separate. But the one which is more developed is the one which is the uppermost petal, is the one which is more developed. In the Deadnettle, we have said it has got 5 spike sepals, which we have already seen as this one here. This is a sepal which has got a spike point, if you look at it at the end. And then we have another sepal here passing outside, and you can see at the tip it is spiky. Then we have another one here. It also ends up in a spiky. They are joined at the base. They come and join at the base. When they come from up, they are individual, but they will join at the base, all the sepals. Then we are saying that they are surrounding the tube of 5 joined petals. That's ones we have seen. The petals which are joined, these are the petals, our petals, and there are 5 of them, but here we can see only 2 petals. And we have said that these petals, they are separate up, but they are joined together at the base. They are joined together. They come and join each other. And the one which is more developed is the one which is at the uppermost, is the one which is well developed. And we have looked at the stamen. There are only 4 stamens with their black anthers close together under the top of the petals, and their filaments joined to the petal tube. So we have the stamen. There are 4. This one here is the stamen. From here you can see it comes here, and this one is the stamen. It comes and joins, and where it is joining here, this is what we are calling the petal tube. They are joining on the petal tube. You can see that this one passing outside is our petal, and the stamen, this one and this one, the 2, they are joined on the petal tube. But we are saying there are 4 stamens. 4 stamen, but here we are seeing 2 stamens. 2 stamen. Now, where are the other 2? The other 2 are in the other part of the flower that has been cut off. So those are the black anther here. They have the black anthers that you are seeing on top, and then they have got the tubes which we call the filament. And those tubes, they come and attach themselves to the petal tube. We also looked at the stigma. If you look at this point here, we have a stigma here, and this stigma, if you look at it, it is forked. We are saying here they have got a forked stigma and a long style leading to the 4-lobed ovaries. So we have the stigma here. It is forked. When you look at it, it has those separations which looks like forks, and then it has got a style, and this style goes down and it joined 4-lobed ovaries. It goes and joins the 4-lobed ovaries. Now, when it comes in legumes, the legumes like lupin, it has got 5 joined sepals. That's 5 joined sepals, and those sepals we can see them here at the bottom. This one here at the bottom is a sepal. We can only see this one down, the sepal. The others have been cut off, but all of them, they are joined together. With 2-lobed appearance. They have 2-lobed appearance. They have got 2-lobed appearance. Here we cannot see the lobed. And they have 5 petals. 5 petals that are not joined, but they are different in shapes and size. We have seen here, there is this petal here. There are 5 petals. The first one is called the standard. This standard is the first petal, and then we have two petals which we call the wing petal. This one here is a wing petal. This one is here is a wing petal, and the other wing petal has been removed. It is taken with the other part of the flower which has been cut away. That is the wing petal, but when you look at it, it is different from the standard petal. Then the other petal we have is this petal which we have inside, which we call the keel petal. The keel petal is the one inside. It is shaped like a boat. So they are different, and all of them are not joined, and they are different in shape and also different in size. The uppermost petal is called the standard. This one we have seen up is the one that we call the standard petal. And the two partly joined petals at the sides are the wings. We have the wing. The wing is this one here, this petal that you see here. There are two partly joined, but the other one has been cut off and it is taken with the other part of the flower, half of the flower. Those ones are the ones that we call the wings. Lupin has 5 joined sepals. The sepals, we have talked about them. These ones down here, they are the sepals. They are joined together with the other side sepals are joined together, and we have seen that they have 5 petals. We have a petal here, and this petal, we called it the standard. We have another petal here, which we have called the wing petal, and then we have another petal inside, which we have called the keel petal. The other parts of the petals are cut off on the other half, which has been removed, so that for us we can see what is inside the lupin flower. Those are the petals. Then we also said that the uppermost petal is called the standard. That one we have already seen. All of us now we know the standard. It is this uppermost petal, and it is partly and two partly joined petal on the sides, which we call the wings. So the two partly joined petals, the wings, these are the wings, which we are calling the side petals. Then we are saying within the wing are 2 more partly joined petals forming a bolt-shaped keel. So the partly joined petal is this one here. This is the keel. It has 2 partly joined petals, which we call the keel. The keel is a bolt-shaped, and the other part which joins here, partly joining here, is cut off and taken with the other part of the flower. But this one is inner. It is inside the wing petals. So the stamen, we are saying that inside the keel there are 10 stamen, the filaments of which they are joined to form the sheath around the ovary. So here we have the male part of the flower. The male part of the flower is this part that we are seeing outside. It has stamen, 10 of them. Some are short, these ones that you are seeing that are short. And then we have some are long, like this one outside, and the other one also outside the other side. So all of them, their filament, when they come down, the filament, they form a sheath, a layer. This layer that you're seeing outside is a layer of the stamen, and that layer is surrounding the ovary inside. This inner part that we are seeing is the ovary, and the outside it is surrounded by a layer, or what we are referring to as a sheath of the stamen filament. Now, the ovary is long, narrow, and pod shaped. When you look at our ovary here, this is the ovary here. It is narrow, it is long, and it is shaped like a pod, that one, and it consists of one couple. It is one couple only. It is one couple with 10 ovules. The ovules are these ones that we are seeing inside, the black parts, and the ovary is this membrane surrounding the ovules. That one is our ovary, and it is one couple. The style ends in the stigma, just within the pointed end of the keel. So our keel is this part of the petal, the outside. That is what we are calling the keel. But now we are talking of the stamen, the stigma. The stigma is this part here on top. This is the female part of the flower, the stigma, and the stigma joins to the ovary through the style. That is the style, and the style goes and joins to the ovary here. It joins to the ovary. But all of them, the style, the ovary, the stamen, they are inside the petal, which we call the keel. We have seen that the stigma, the ovary, is long and narrow. This is our ovary here. It is long, but it is narrow. That is the ovary, and it is shaped in form of a pod. Therefore, it is one couple with 10 ovules. Then we have the style. We have said it ends into the stigma at the pointed end of the keel. So this is our style here, stigma connected to the style at the tip of the keel. Then it goes down and it joins to the ovary. Hello, my friends. Thank you very much for participating in the flower structure. Please do like, share, and subscribe.